What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Marvel Debate. I'm your co-host, Josh Meany.
And I'm your other co-host, Darren Badmouth Beasley. And today, what are we talking about, Josh?
Today we are debating which Infinity Stone in the MCU that we would rather have. The number one that we think would be the best to have.
That's right. Now,
I
originally I had.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
What's
No,
that?
go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say originally I had said the Space Stone. Originally,
Right.
and I believe that's what it's called, the
Mhm.
Space Stone.
It's the Tesseract.
And then I switched it.
The space.
The Tesseract, yeah,
basically.
right. And then I switched it to the Soul Stone.
Yeah, he switched to the Soul Stone because I had to switch mine. I originally had Reality, and
Yeah.
I just came up with too many things that could go wrong. I'm like, yo,
So
we gotta switch it up.
that interested me though. Why did you switch?
Well, the reason I switch is when I'm going into thinking about the Infinity Stone that I want the most, I'm thinking about the least dangerous one. The one that, like, if I fucked something up, it would be the least problems. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the Reality Stone. I'm like, no, there's so much that could go wrong. I'm thinking about the Time Stone. Absolutely. I ruled out the Time Stone and the Power Stone, like, immediately. I was like, I don't want that. Because when you have an Infinity Stone, you're almost like a guardian of it. You're like you're supposed to protect that stone, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I
like,
guess.
that's like
Yeah.
a big deal because other people are going to be after that stone. You got to, like, you know what I mean? So I didn't
Well,
want the
okay, but
Reality
this was in a
Stone.
world where
Go ahead.
this is a world where no one's gonna. Let's just say no one's. You don't have to, because that would change that would completely change what I pick if I had to worry about people coming after me
Oh,
to,
really?
to
I'm
kill me
thinking
for.
me in the MCU. Also, we have to be beings that could hold Infinity Stones. No regular person can just, you know what I mean? Except
Well,
Tony Stark.
but okay. Let's reframe the question though. Let's reframe the question.
Okay.
When I was asking the question, I really meant like you just right now in this world,
Mhm.
like a stone that you can have, right? Like what was a stone that you would want? Not necessarily you being this super powerful being that can only hold
Okay.
the stone and you're in
So,
the MCU or anything
Even
like
going
that.
in like that, my main thing is the one that I feel like if I fuck up, it won't be as bad as the other ones, which is the Space Stone.
Yeah.
Because if I had the Space Stone, I mean, I know you can travel to different parts of the galaxy, dimensions and shit with the Space Stone, but I would just use it to, like, teleport around Earth. You know, I ain't really gonna leave
Right,
or
right.
go anywhere, and I feel like that's just the one I could have fun with it. I mean, there's a lot of good I could even do with it. Like, it could be an infinite power source that could help the world. You know what I mean? Kind of like what Doc Ock was going for in Spider-Man 2, like
Mm.
unlimited energy. You know, I think it would benefit the most, and I would fuck up the least. That's
Well, so
basically my thing about it. I was thinking about all the other stones. I'm like, there's just so much I feel like I could mess up. And don't get me wrong, there's things I can mess up with the Space Stone, like, for sure.
right.
But
Well,
yeah, that's the one
I'm-
I think would be the best to have.
Okay, see, I took an approach like this, right? I was basically like, I wasn't gonna do the Reality Stone or anything that was too powerful or whatever because you still have to live some kind of life. Like life still has to be worth living. Like so, in other words, if I could change reality to make it whatever it is that I want all the time, it's like having a cheat code on all the time. Where there's just no point, there's no challenge, there's nothing. Like why wake up and do anything the next day when you can just make whatever it is that you want appear?
Mhm.
You know, there's no meaning in that.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, I want $1 million. Okay, then you have it. Oh, I want to own this. Okay, then you have it.
Yeah,
And
I
then
feel
it's
like that's just so bad to do with the because originally that's why I wanted the Reality Stone. Like, that's the one
Yep.
I picked. I'm like, I can make reality. I can make my house a mansion. I can do all
Yep.
this stuff. But I'm like, that's just gonna be problematic at some point. Like, where does it end? When's someone gonna stop me? When is it too much? You know, how much reality can I bend? Will I get too hooked on changing reality and not letting things be the way it is? I just think that's a dangerous thing
that's
to
what I
really
mean.
keep on doing.
Right. You're
And
gonna
that's what-
every single time something happens, you're just gonna change reality to make it whatever it is you
right,
want.
right.
And
Which
then
I
it's
feel
like,
like
what's
would
the
be great
point?
at first, but I feel like you're gonna reach a point where it's like, what is reality? It's
Yeah,
whatever you want it
exactly.
to be,
You're gonna
you know?
well, what is the meaning of life? If you could have anything you want at the flick of a wrist, anything you want all the time, why? At some point you need challenge.
Mhm.
You need adversity. You need to overcome something. You can't just warp reality all the time. So that's why I didn't do the reality stone. Same with time. Time. You're eliminating consequences.
Oh yeah,
You're
that one I had to
eliminating.
rule out like immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
I'm,
that we already know the consequences from Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to do that. And then
yeah.
the Power
Well.
Stone, I feel like the Power Stone is just it's used for attack. Really, what else am I going to do for with the Power Stone besides try to win wars for America? Maybe But I don't
I
want
was
to do
thinking
that.
that, like,
know,
yeah, some
and it's
sort of
OD.
combat thing. But even then, you could power things up. But I just feel like it's not that. It's
Mhm.
you're just better off with the space stone. Like, it's not a bad stone to have. It's not, but you're better off with the space stone, in my opinion. That's why I picked the space stone. But back to the time zone. Again, I mean the time stone rather. Again, there's no consequences. There's no consequences.
Well, you can
If
get
you
stuck
do
in a
something
loop.
and you mess it up, you do something and you mess it up, you just go back in time and oh, well, I'm not gonna do that anymore. It's like, okay, so it's almost like the reality stone in a way,
Mhm.
where you can just keep doing whatever it is you want. I mean, you could do crazy. You could kill somebody and then just go back in time like it didn't even happen.
Right, but
So
if you
again,
get
there's
stuck
just
in that loop, isn't there like no way out of that? If you get stuck in that time loop, that's what what's his face was warning Doctor Strange of. You can get
oh
stuck.
yeah, right.
That's the big consequence of it, and that's a turn off. Like if I
Yeah, they're
mess that
creating
up, I'm
like
gonna be stuck in this
paradoxes and
time loop. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, they're creating these loops and these paradoxes and things.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
a
just
complete
messing
mess.
everything up. Yep.
Yeah.
So you picked the Soul Stone, right?
Okay, so yeah, so I was just going through my journey as what I thought about all the stones.
Mhm.
The Soul Stone, and the reason why I picked it, or the reason why I settled on it, and I changed from the Space Stone,
Mhm.
is because again, there's really no consequence in the sense that even with the Space Stone, like of course you can mess up tremendously, right? But you still have a reason to live. There's still meaning in your life with the Space Stone and the Soul Stone, but the
Mhm.
Soul Stone I think is even more it's more what's the right word? It's more interesting. It's more fun to own, right? So
Fun
so
to
I
a
looked it
point.
up.
And one thing I
Yeah,
just
okay,
want to
so
say real quick is you said there's no consequence, but I mean, dog, the main consequence is you got to give up something you love to get the stone. Unless you're saying we just have the stone.
oh,
But
I was
there's a
just saying you just
huge
have it.
oh yeah, because there's a huge sacrifice you got to make to even get
No,
that thing.
yeah, no, I've absolutely not. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a huge sacrifice for
Okay,
you
but
to
you're
even
talking
get
about
any of the
just getting
stones.
it.
But I'm just saying you have it. I'm just saying you
So
have it. Right.
so what you're saying is if we have it and the rules of the MCU don't completely
Yeah, don't
count.
completely apply it. Like if you just had it out on a table and you get to pick which one you wanted. Not that you have to kill someone or kill something that you love to get it. You just have it. You know,
Okay.
it's not like you have to
I think I would
conquer a
still pick
galaxy
the
to get the
Space
Power
Stone.
Stone.
I think I would still pick the Space Stone. But like going into it, I was thinking me in the MCU. I'm like thinking about how like basically I'm a guardian of it. Like people are gonna try to get people bang trying to get the Tesseract and the Space Stone. That's
Yeah,
been an
yeah.
ongoing
No.
thing. And I thought like I would have to deal with that, and then I figured like that would be the easiest one for me to try to. Maybe not the easiest, but a good way to try to stay away from the enemies. I just teleport around. You know what I mean? I can
Right.
use it as a weapon even to like remember when Thanos like phased the Hulkbuster like into the
Yep.
rocks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's certainly true. I probably wouldn't have picked the Soul Stone if I was a character in the MCU. That
Hmm.
wouldn't do me much good. Well, actually, no, it could, I guess, because you could take someone's soul, I
So
imagine.
yeah, you can control like all living and dead things. You can resurrect like the spirit, but you can't resurrect like the actual body. But you can. What I have it here. What the Soul Stone does. I just wanted to have them up. So allows the user to steal, control, manipulate, and alter living and dead souls, as well as
Hmm.
animate the motionless. That's the one I was like, "Wha- that's weird."
So that's the thing. So if you had that, and you could also go to that pocket dimension that Thanos was in.
Mm,
You know, you could go to this pocket dimension. I don't know how one would access that, but I know the stone can grant you. I think it's the only way you could get in there unless you die and then you
mm,
go to that pocket dimension. You know, that he met Baby Gam Gam in. You know.
yeah,
Um.
that's a that's a it's a
Well,
downward
see, here's the thing.
spiral. You know.
Though. Here's the thing. Obviously, I wouldn't use it to take anyone over, take anyone's soul
Mm,
over, or swap someone's spirit with someone else's body, or anything
mm,
insane like that. But you could talk to everyone who's died before. I could sit down and have a conversation with Michael Jackson if I wanted to. I could sit down and have a conversation with Martin Luther King if I wanted to. It's like you think you can just resurrect people or their spirits, so to say,
That's just
for
messed up.
moment of time.
I just feel like after a while, it's gonna do something to your psyche. You know, you're just talking to dead people. Like,
Well, you're not going to do it every day, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that you have an unlimited pool of wisdom to pull from. Unlimited pool of wisdom. If anybody you ever wanted to talk to that has died at some point, you can talk to. You don't have to talk to them every day. You could even be friends with them. Honestly. And this
so that's
does
what
not
you would do with it. Like, that's
absolutely. That's really one of the only things that I feel as though
I mean, sure,
would
but
want to
I
do.
would rather have the space stone. I'd have more fun. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
I get to talk to dead people. It's like that's gonna go so far. You know what I mean? And that just weirds me out.
Well, I think
There's something
it's
about that. Like,
I think it's more than talking. Like I said, you could have relationships
that's
with
fucked.
people that. Oh, well, that's legit though. That's what I mean. If you listen, if you want to be friends with,
be able to teleport around.
If you wanted to be friends with anyone, like imagine a family member dies and you're like, oh man, okay, you can still talk to them. You'd still have a whole relationship with them, just like how we talk through Facebook Messenger. You can just talk to that person. Like I don't see how that's, I don't see how that's not only a bad thing, but I also don't see how that I don't think it interrupts my life in a sense where I have no reason to live, or I could potentially destroy the universe or do something catastrophic. You know, it's pretty tame
with the soul stone.
Yeah, it's pretty tame. And with the space stone, the reason why I switched is because you could accidentally, not that this is likely, I don't really know how it works necessarily. You could accidentally send yourself somewhere that you shouldn't be, or send yourself somewhere in a hostile environment. You know, like let's say you say, "Well, I'm going to teleport. I want to go on vacation." Right? So I want to teleport to this island and be on the beach side. And just by pure luck, wherever it is that you decided to teleport to, there was someone loading up a boat, or there was somebody backing their truck up into the, and
so
you
there's
teleported.
No way the stone can see what it's doing.
See, I don't know.
Because you would think, you know what I mean, when Thanos is like, when he teleports through things, like he can see where he's going almost. You know what I mean? One would think.
He teleports through things.
Yeah, if the Infinity Stone almost has a mind of its own. You know, like it has it can make the decision to banish you because it doesn't agree with you. That's basically what happened with Red Skull. You know what I mean? Like the stone banished him to Vormir to watch over the Soul Stone that the Infinity Stone knew that he wouldn't be able to ever get. You know, he would never be able to make that sacrifice. That's basically what Red Skull says in like Infinity War.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, but that's because he couldn't follow the rules of it, not necessarily because the Infinity Stone has a conscience of its own and just doesn't like him. It's because he couldn't even make the sacrifice.
Yeah, but it knew that.
It knew that. No, it did.
It knows like
it knew
what
that.
if you're trying to abuse it, and it was like no. Huh? It knows if like you're trying to abuse it, and it was basically no. And it made the decision to it banished him specifically to Vormir. That's like unless that's just a default that it banishes everyone to.
Well, that's what he was alluding to. That's what he was alluding to. That Vormir was the planet.
Space Stone does that.
That the Soul Stone.
Oh, I was talking about the Space Stone. The Space Stone is what banished him to Vormir to guard the Soul Stone.
Well, why was he banished by the Space Stone?
Because he was trying to abuse its power.
Oh.
And it knew that. It knew that.
So then how come it doesn't stop everyone else?
Huh? See, that's what I was thinking too, but it must have been something that Red Skull was specifically doing, because, I mean, it let Thanos do whatever, but...
Josh, I think it's because he died.
It's not because I looked it up.
Looked it up? You looked up the MCU explanation for it?
Yeah, because when I was looking up the Infinity Stones to like get a good idea of everything, I was looking up specifically the Infinity Stones in the MCU. And I found that multiple times that the stone is actually banished Red Skull there, and that's basically what he says in Infinity War.
Right, but he
because he was trying to abuse it, which I don't know where the Infinity Stone draws the line of abuse. because I'm trying to remember exactly what Red Skull was doing with it. He wanted to touch it and like,
Right, but Josh, the guy got Thanos got a gauntlet and eliminated half the universe. I don't understand how
yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. Abuse it? They've been abusing it the entire time it's on screen.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of what Red Skull was specifically doing that the stone didn't like, because like
Well,
like,
either
you're
way
right.
though, either way, he died. Him dying is the reason. If he was alive, he wouldn't be in Vormir.
Mm-hmm.
So you
But
have
the
to
stone
die
is what
to.
sent him to Vormir. To
Sure,
guard
sure,
a
but
stone that it knew he would never be able to obtain.
sure, but he had to die first.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So it didn't. So we're not saying that the consciousness of the stone doesn't affect you as when you're alive. Maybe when you
Right.
die,
No.
and
No.
you're,
Yeah.
whatever
No.
it
It
is,
can't take his body. No. He died, and it killed him, didn't it? That's the reason he died.
I have no idea what. I thought the plane was going down. He's on the plane,
He's on the plane. I thought he died
and
before
everything
the plane.
starts. Doesn't everything start crashing down, and it starts to melt through
I could have sworn the
the
stone
floor or whatever?
I could have sworn the stone is what ended up killing him. I'm almost certain the stone is what essentially killed him at the end of First Avenger.
Well, how does it kill him though? If he touches it?
Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't let it. He tried to obtain the stone, and it denied him, and it sent him to Well, it killed him, and it sent his spirit to Vormir. Again,
See, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense.
Why not?
Because there's no logic with why is it doing that to him, but it's not doing
That's
that to
what I
anyone
don't
else.
understand, is where it really draws the line of abuse. That's why I'm trying to think, what was he doing with that thing? Because Thanos did obtain it, put it in a gauntlet, and wipe out half the universe.
Yeah.
Was Red
And
Skull
Loki
trying to
was
mess
using it
with
too.
the Tesseract, like, how much it
Oh, he's using the
personally,
lines.
but like physically, was he trying to?
I don't know. I don't even. I actually, you know what? The whole thing is confusing me because the stone that Thanos got from Loki, that was the space stone, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah.
From the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how is it that he's able to take over people's minds with the space stone?
Take over people's minds? What do you mean?
Yeah, Loki.
That has something to do with like his staff and his power. Actually, no. He takes over people's. No, he uses his staff. That's not the space stone.
Oh, that has nothing to do with the stone?
No, that's the Mind Stone. That's how he takes over people's mind. He has the Mind Stone in his staff. They get the Mind Stone from the staff and put it in Vision's head. That's how Loki.
Oh, okay.
That's
I got
that's
confused the
Mind
two.
Stone. Mhm.
I confused the two. Okay.
They're
Yeah, so how
both
come the
blue
Mind
at
Stone didn't
first.
reject him? Right. How come the Mind Stone didn't reject him?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Mhm.
okay, well, this is off topic anyway. It doesn't matter who it rejects or who it doesn't reject. Let's just say it doesn't reject anybody.
Mhm.
The stone having a consciousness, maybe there is a consciousness
Mhm.
to the point where it cannot teleport you somewhere where you'll die.
Mhm.
Maybe. But I'm not sure. If you wanted to teleport yourself at the bottom of the ocean, is it going to say no? I mean,
No, probably.
I feel like it's going to.
Yeah, that's
feel
the
like it's gonna
thing.
send
I'm
it.
hoping that it can level with me. Like, yo, I want to teleport across the city, and it's like, all right, can you look first and not teleport me into a building? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that would actually be a consequence of it or not.
Yeah, so that's
Because if it
okay.
is,
So
then
that's something.
goddamn, like the number one thing I want to do with it.
I think you know what it is. I think you can do. I think you can look into where you're going to go.
Oh yeah, because you can open up like a portal.
Yeah, it's black. You can't really
Mm.
see through it, but I think the
Maybe
user has to know or
I
can
stick
see
my head in a
something.
little.
Huh?
I can stick my head in a little. Just
Yeah,
look
right,
around,
yeah.
like, I'm a
Well, okay,
computer.
so imagine that scene where Thanos uses it to teleport himself away from Star-Lord
Mhm.
in Infinity War. It comes from behind him. The portal comes from behind him and engulfs him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he doesn't even he's not even looking at where he's going necessarily. I think he just has to consciously think of it. So it has
got
to
know what it's
It has to
doing.
deliver you to the location safely. I feel
Mhm.
like it is thinking a little bit. I would
Yeah.
hope so, But hey,
Yeah.
listen, that's a risk that you got to take that I don't got to take. I don't have to take that risk. There's no risk. There's really there's no way you can mess up with the Soul Stone
Yeah,
in a
if it's
way.
not in the MCU, again, me going into this thinking one of my main things was, what if someone gets it from me? Like, which one? Like, if someone gets the Time Stone from me, I'm like, oh, we're fucked. If someone gets the Soul Stone from me, they can do a lot of damage with that damn thing.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main things I was thinking of too. Basically, I have very low standard for myself, and I'm like, yo, if I have an Infinity Stone, I gotta pick the one that I can have fun with the least consequences. And
Yeah,
to
yeah, but
me,
so okay, so that's what
that
I'm
would be
saying.
the Space
I
Stone. I can have fun. I can teleport around. There's other things I could do with it. I can even help the world. You know, like I said, unlimited
right, but what are the
energy. Like,
consequences of the Soul Stone?
well, again, I was thinking about the MCU. I was thinking about you got to sacrifice something to get it.
Okay, but
And then I
having
think it
not
starts
having
to, for me, I don't know what it's gonna do to my psyche. Like, I'm just able to talk to dead people all the time.
you can if you want to.
Can if I want to, but that's like, it's a lot of emotion in that. You know what I mean? Like, just going through that.
Right, but Josh,
Bro,
there's
I
no-
just want a stone. I just want to teleport around. You know, like, oh, yeah,
You don't have to. Okay, but you don't have to talk to dead people with the Soul Stone. You could.
What else am I gonna do with it? Me neither. I mean, you could,
Huh?
yeah. I don't think that's more fun than teleporting around.
No, it's not. That's why I want to talk to the dead people. I want to go to that pocket
Yeah, that's the
universe
thing.
and
I
hang
don't
out.
really
Doug,
like. Obviously, there's certain people. Like, if I have family members that die, like, yeah. But again, I just don't know what that's gonna do to me mentally. Like, being able to just talk to dead people, and then you're right. I don't have to. But then if I'm not doing that, what the hell do I have the Soul Stone for?
Right. I mean, I really wouldn't use it for any other purpose.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not so sure about that whole talking to dead relatives and things.
Well, here's the thing. I don't see any real consequences with the Soul Stone, and the idea that you don't know what it'll do to your psyche. I don't. That goes both ways. If you don't know what it'll do to your psyche, well, then I don't know either. I can't take that as a compelling argument to not get the
Yeah,
Soul
well,
Stone.
I'm using it like I'm not really sure if that's something I want to do. Talk to.
No, I
You know what I
understand that.
mean?
I understand that.
I
But
feel
I'm
like
saying,
me doing that personally, that's just the reason I wouldn't want the Soul Stone.
right. But the consequences, I'm saying, the consequences.
Mhm.
Like, there's no consequences, is what I mean. Like, there's very little consequence with the Space Stone, if any. If
Yeah,
any.
outside
Right,
of
and
the MCU, yeah, I guess no one's
That's what I'm
trying
saying,
to
and
come
I
get it.
I don't see any with the Soul Stone either. I don't. No one's gonna come kill you and take it from you. That's not a part of the. You know what I mean?
Well, I thought it was, Darren. You know
Well,
what I mean? I thought we were using more of the rules of the MCU.
if that
Well, I
was
mean,
if
we
that was
are,
the case, if that was the case, I'd probably take. I'd probably still take the Soul Stone anyway, because you could just suck someone's soul out. I mean, I don't understand why that would. Again,
You
what?
can just do that and just
Why-
suck the
why
soul
are-
out like that. Oh yeah, because you
Huh?
can steal. Yeah, you can. That's
Yeah, you can
fucking
steal
wild.
souls and manipulate them. Yeah, so I don't understand why I wouldn't pick the Soul Stone. Who's gonna come at? Oh, okay, but you open up the MCU, then is Thanos coming after someone? I mean,
Mhm.
that's then okay,
Yeah,
good
but
luck. You're
opening
screwed.
up the
You're dead.
MCU, also, I gotta make a fucking sacrifice for it unless someone just lets me have it.
Yeah, exactly. So no,
Yeah.
that conversation is insane. I mean, we could have that conversation at a
Mm.
at another. We can recollect afterwards and come
Yeah.
up with new answers, because that would definitely change my answer. It
Yeah,
would definitely
yeah. I
change
mean,
my
I'm
answer.
sure it would, because when you said you'd pick the Soul Stone, I'm like, does he realize he's gotta make a? First thing I thought, how big of a sacrifice he has to make. Like, I was totally thinking about it. Like, only thing I changed was I'm in the MCU and I'm a being that can have it for some reason. I'm like, all right, which stone would I want? And I'm like, oh man,
Right.
everyone's after me. Like, everyone's after me. I don't want to mess anything up. Like, let me just.
And then think about
dash
the
around.
money and the success you could have with the Soul Stone. Like, you can, like, you know, those people that go out into crowds and they trick the people into thinking they can talk to their
Mhm.
dead relatives and stuff like that. You would actually be able to do that. You would actually be able to do it.
Yeah, you would.
In fact, you know
That's
what you could do? And as creepy as it is, you know what you could do? You could take, like, an animal and put someone else's spirit in it. Oh, actually, you know what? That really wouldn't work because the animal still wouldn't know English. The brains, you're not gonna change the brain just by putting the soul in there.
Put
It
it in
doesn't
there
really
and it
matter.
doesn't know what is going on.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But you could essentially possess someone with someone else's spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you say, well, I want to talk to so and so, like my dead brother or something. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna pull him out and put him in this person, and you could talk to him. Or I could pull it out and show him through me, and you could talk to him, and then he's gonna go away. It's like, or we could go to the pocket universe. We go to the pocket. This is another thing too that's so cool about the pocket universe.
I don't think the pocket
Imagine,
universe is cool.
imagine going to the pocket universe
daunting.
and just literally hanging out. Like you don't have to really worry about the passage of time. You don't have to really worry about getting older. I don't know how time really works there.
Oh yeah, I have
think
no
it's
idea how that works. No.
yeah, I think time passes differently there. You can literally sit there and hang out with people. That seriously, you can go there and just sit down and just be like, all right, so, what was it like? You could have an interview with George Washington, and he could explain to you what it was like founding America. Like you could have these amazing conversations
That would be
and
kind of
come
cool.
back.
You're right. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, just think about it.
Creepy,
Just think about all the
but
people.
cool.
Yeah, it would be ultimate. I would take that over the space stone.
Mm-hmm.
I would take that over the space stone, but I do think obviously the space stone's a really good pick. I would take the soul stone over the space stone
Mm.
for that reason. You could even
That
go
makes
back and
sense.
visit Hitler and have a conversation with him and ask him why
Yeah,
he's
word.
so.
Why is he
You could be
such
like,
a
what's
prick? Why is he so
well,
grumpy?
yeah, what's going on? Like,
Mhm.
you could talk to some of the worst and evil people in the world,
I'll
and
pass, but yeah, sure.
well, you know what I mean.
Mm.
You could learn a lot, is what I'm saying. You could learn a lot.
That's interesting. You know what one is funny? The Mind Stone. I feel like you just got to be a villain. What are you gonna do with the Mind Stone? You're gonna do bad
Again,
things
yeah.
with the Mind Stone.
And there's no okay. So here's the thing: when I say no consequences, it's weird because we're taking. It's funny how we use that interchangeably throughout this podcast. Like no consequences meant something different in the beginning than it did in the middle, and now I'm about to change it again. When I say no consequences with Reality Stone, I'm saying you can just do anything and it doesn't matter because you can always just make reality whatever it is you want it to make,
Mhm.
right? And then same with the Mind Stone, right? If you get in an argument with someone, there's no consequences because you could just take their mind over and make them do whatever it is that you want them to do,
No
and you can have
consequences
whatever
for
it is that you want.
personally, really. Is what you're
Right,
saying.
right. Yeah, you can mess up and it doesn't matter because you could just take someone over and be like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, well, boom. Now,
So you'd be a villain, basically, is what you're telling me.
I don't know what else. I mean, I wouldn't pick the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pick the Mind Stone. Because what am I going to do? What are you going to do with it?
Nothing good.
You're going to rob someone of their consciousness? I mean, this is not in my ethical playbook, It's like Wonder Woman, You got this guy just taking over this other dude's body, just walking around. What about that guy? What about his life? You just walk up to a bank teller and just like
Yeah,
take over her
yeah.
mind and be like, "Give me all the money." It's like, what about her? What she wants to do?
Yeah, morals. Morals. You gotta have some
Morals,
morals
exactly.
going
She
into
doesn't
that.
want to give you the money.
The
Yeah,
Infinity Stones are a big responsibility.
they are.
But yeah, we're about GG.
Yes.
That's our
is
thoughts
GG.
on which stone we would want. It's a hell of a
Yep.
topic. Which Infinity Stone do you want? Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Drop down in the comment section. Let us know what stone you guys would want to have. Also drop down in the comment section if you guys even made it this far. But drop down in the comment section what topics you think we should debate. Just throw anything out there. Have debates in the comments. Talk in the comments. Say anything in the comments. Say I'm an idiot. Just do something. Just comment on it. Like, subscribe, and until next time.
Peace out, guys.